to the Personalization and E-commerce series, bringing you the best of Froomle's AI expertise in combination with market insights from the e-commerce space to create an overview to help define your digital strategy. My name is Amelia and I'm a Personalization Strategist with Froomle, working with retailers and media partners to come up with the most innovative and personalized experience for their customers' journeys. Now, when I say the word community, what typically comes to mind? For some, it's a religious community. For others, it could be your alma mater. For some, maybe it's the TV show starring Childish Gambino and Chevy Chase. But in today's video, we're going to talk about communities that are built by brands that are truly a part of their DNA. These communities go beyond just their social medias to truly interact with their consumers on a personal level, to truly engage with them, and going beyond just a typical product-consumer relationship. But in order to understand how these communities function, you need to understand why they're built in the first place and how they're built. And once we have that understanding, we'll be able to understand just how personalization can come into play to increase that engagement even more. So let's get started. The members of these communities go beyond just the typical consumer, truly acting as brand ambassadors. And in order to create a community that's truly engaging, you need to understand what's important to them and how they're really interacting with your brand and through which channels. On top of that, there's 3 areas that you should be considering when creating your community. Firstly, you have to make sure that there's a captivating reason for them to join. Secondly, you need to make sure that they're motivated to join and also to engage. And finally, you have to create a place where they can be vulnerable, but also connect with other people that might share the same passions that they do. One great example of a community is Lululemon, the athleisure brand that was started in Canada. Their community is based on brand ambassadors of everyday people and athletes in different communities across the world, really living and promoting their brand. This all started for them when they started with their internal employees creating a community, and then from there being able to spread that to the external community. This is primarily done through in-person events, be it yoga, pop-up at festivals, pop-up shops, and really promoting that community within their brick and mortar stores. However, with Lululemon, a lot of their community is based in the real world. And with the pandemic having changed how we interact with people on a day-to-day basis, another example I'd really like to look at and examine is another one of my favorites, GYMSHARK. GYMSHARK is a second example and one that I really enjoy personally because they started as an online primarily, but they truly promoted the idea of a brand ambassador in the real world experience. They were known for different events and pop-ups that they would host, as well as bringing their typically only online product to an in-store kind of solution. However, with the pandemic, their online blog that was the start of their community became the focus. And with that, they also spoke with different consumers to understand what content they were looking for in the current environment. By shifting to focusing on the current needs of their consumers, they're making sure that their community stays engaged, but also finds the most relevant content to make it worth their time to engage in this community. As the pandemic has shifted our everyday lifestyles to being more inside as well as more socially distanced, there's never been a more important time for these communities to be created and utilized. The shift from an offline focus to an online focus should be number 1 priority for brands. However, by incorporating AI, you can bring your community one step further. By showing content that's relevant to that consumer, it not only allows them to engage in a more relevant way in real time, but it can also help connect them to different consumers that might share the same kind of values that they do, or they might also enjoy the same kind of content. This also helps to combat another big problem that the pandemic has brought forward, the idea of loneliness and not being able to connect with people in a way that seems real or authentic. By creating these kinds of communities now, or improving on existing communities, you help combat that problem, but also you're using your AI personalization in a way that is relevant in real time to that consumer. In summary, by building a community of this type, but by also incorporating personalization into it, perhaps from the beginning or perhaps as an update, you can make sure that your consumers are staying engaged throughout the pandemic and beyond. By using AI personalization, you can also link different members to each other and create a more engaged community faster than you might have otherwise. Now, we're curious to know, what communities are you a part of, or what communities have you seen that are really living and breathing this DNA through their brand ambassadors? We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this content and are looking forward to other videos within our e-commerce series, please make sure to like and subscribe to our LinkedIn channel as well as to our YouTube channel. We'll see you in the next video.